Good morning, seventh grade. Today is Thursday, January 21st, 2021. Today's work will all be done asynchronously, so you'll see that I've assigned you a packet today in Google Classroom for pages 22 through 26, and then there'll be a linked mastery check. The mastery check, you will simply just copy paste your work from the 4 questions from today's reading and submit for credit. Today's work will go into the gradebook as a practice and participation grade. Okay, so stay with me as I go over directions, and I'm also going to read pages 22 through 26 for those of you who would like it. So here we go. Today's objective, students will be able to independently and asynchronously examine how the animals respond to Animal Farm's 7 commandments. You have 2 new vocabulary words today. You have 1, reproach, which is to criticize, scold, or reprimand, and unanimous, which means fully in agreement. Today's do now directions are to simply read and annotate pages 22 through 26, complete the attached questions below, and answer all questions in full and complete scholarly sentences. Copy paste your response in the link mastery check, and then all your work is due by 4 p.m. on 1/21/21. You have a vocabulary practice, which you'll work through on your own. Make sure you're filling out the situations portion, so creating your own example sentence that gives us clues to what these words mean, and then you have 2 questions using the words. Cycle 2, you're going to read, or excuse me, just cycle period, just the only cycle you have today, are going to be pages 22 through 26. Let me change that. I'm not noticing my own little typos here. Page 26 is going to be on your own today. So as you read, please capture any unanimous resolutions made during this section and look closely for clues about what happened to the missing milk. Here you have space to do your annotations. Try to get at least 5, if not more, and then you have 4 questions. Question 1 is, what impact do the changes in bold have on the tone of the excerpt? Use your tone word bank found in the Google Stream to support your answer. Number 2, why might these 7 laws be called commandments rather than rules? Include the term illusion in your response. Orwell includes a misspelling of the word friend. He spells it F-R-E-I-N-D. How is this ironic? And then finally, is taking the milk an act in violation of the 7 commandments? Why or why not? You're going to answer all 4 questions on your own, independently, in full and complete sentences. Remember, we're looking for quality responses, proving you've answered these questions fully. You'll then click the MC Lesson 6, pages 22 through 26, Asynchronous Workday Mastery Check. That'll open up to the same questions you just completed, and you'll simply copy-paste your answers for credits. Make sure that you turn your work in by 4 p.m. today, and here are some key points for you to review in your lessons. I'll let you read through those on your own. Okay? At this point, I'm going to release you. You may work on your own to complete your work today. Remember, all work is done on your own, asynchronously. Teachers will not be available, so make sure you review this video if you have questions or reach out to one another in private chats. Okay? At this point, you may pause or turn off the video and get to work, or stay on this video if you'd like to follow along as I read pages 22 through 26. Okay? So here I have my Animal Farm book. I'm going to start on that second paragraph from page 22 where it says, then they filed back, okay? Then they filed back to the farm buildings and halted in silence outside the door of the farmhouse. That was theirs too. But they were frightened to go inside. After a moment, however, Snowball and Napoleon butted the door open with their shoulders, and the animals entered in single file, walking with the utmost care for fear of disturbing anything. They tiptoed from room to room, afraid to speak above a whisper, and gazing with a kind of awe at the unbelievable luxury, at the beds with their feather mattresses, the looking glasses, the horsehair sofa, the Brussels carpet, the lithographs of Queen Victoria over the drawing room mantelpiece. They were just coming down the stairs when Molly was discovered to be missing. Going back, the others found that she had remained behind in the best bedroom. She had taken a piece of blue ribbon from Mrs. Jones's dressing table and was holding it against her shoulder. and admiring herself in the glass in a very foolish manner. The others reproached her sharply, and they went outside. Some hams hanging in the kitchen were taken out for burial, and the barrel of beer in the scullery was stove in with a kick from Boxer's hoof. Otherwise, nothing in the house was touched. A unanimous resolution was passed on the spot that the farmhouse should be preserved as a museum. All were agreed that no animal must ever live there. The animals had their breakfast, and then Snowball and Napoleon called them together again. "Comrades," said Snowball, "it is 6:30, and we have a long day before us. Today we begin the hay harvest, but there is another matter that must be attended to first." The pigs now revealed that during the past 3 months they had taught themselves to read and write from an old spelling book which had belonged to Mr. Jones's children, and which had been thrown on the rubbish heap. Napoleon sent for pots of black and white paint and led the way down the 5-barred gates that gave on the main road. Then Snowball, for it was Snowball who was best at writing, took a brush between the 2 knuckles of his trotter, painted out Manor Farm from the top bar and the gate, and in its place painted Animal Farm. This was the name of the farm from now onwards. After this, they went back to their farm buildings, where Snowball and Napoleon sent for a ladder, which they caused to be set against the end wall of the big barn. They explained that their studies of the past 3 months, the pigs had succeeded in reducing the principles of animalism to 7 commandments. These 7 commandments would now be inscribed on the wall. They would form an unaltered law by which all animals of Animal Farm must live forever after. With some difficulty, for it is not easy for a pig to balance himself on a ladder, Snowball climbed up and set to work with Squealer a few rungs below him, holding the paint pot. The commandments were written on the tarred wall in great white letters that could be read 30 yards away. They ran thus: The 7 commandments. 1. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. 2. Whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. 3. No animal shall wear clothes. 4. No animal shall sleep in a bed. 5. No animal shall drink alcohol. 6. No animal shall kill any other animal. 7. All animals are equal. It was very neatly written, and except for friend was spelled friend, and one of the S's was the wrong way around. The spelling was correct all the way through. Snowball read it aloud for the benefit of the others. All the animals nodded in complete agreement, and the cleverer ones at once began to learn the commandments by heart. "Now, comrades," cried Snowball, throwing down the paintbrush, "to the hayfield. Let us make it a point of honor to get the harvest more quickly than Jones and his men could do." But at this moment the 3 cows, who had seemed uneasy for some time past, set up a loud lowing. They had not been milked for 24 hours, and their udders were almost bursting. After a little thought, the pigs sent for buckets and milked the cows fairly successfully, the trotters being well adapted to this task. Soon there were 5 buckets of frothing, creamy milk, at which many of the animals looked with considerable interest. "What is going to happen to all that milk?" said someone. Jones used some time to mix some of it in our mash," said one of the hens. "Never mind the milk, comrade," said Napoleon, placing himself in front of the buckets. "That will be attended to. The harvest is more important. Comrade Snowball will lead the way. I shall follow in a few minutes. Forward, comrades, the hay is waiting." So the animals trooped down to the hayfield to begin the harvest, and when they came back in the evening, it was noticed that the milk had disappeared. End of chapter. All right, if you are still with me, please go ahead and turn off this video and begin your independent work. We will see you tomorrow, Friday, for our next lesson and our Chapter 2 quiz. Make sure that you have submitted all your work by 4 p.m. today. Have a great day, 7th grade, and we'll see you soon.